In the underbelly of St. Paul's Park Square Theater, it's 30 minutes to showtime, and violinist Frank Allman is just getting warmed up.
You sort of have to unplug and go and be on, like that.
As concertmaster for the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, Frank often travels the country, accompanied by a 300-year-old $6 million Stradivarius. He's had it on loan for 9 years, but he's performing here in St. Paul not as a culmination of the 9 years they've spent together, but because of the 9 days of hell they spent apart.
I believe this is still the only armed robbery of a high-end instrument on record.
It was January 2014. Frank was walking to his car after a concert in Milwaukee, Stradivarius in hand, when he was ambushed with a taser.
I was down long enough for him to get to violin and get in the van, but I was up fast enough to watch the van drive off. It was like a Coen Brothers movie where you're trying to explain to beat cops or a dispatcher that a multi-million-dollar instrument has been stolen in an armed robbery.
Despite the shaky start, investigators gained traction quickly. Within 48 hours, there were 2 major clues: a traceable taser cartridge and the discarded violin case. Then, in a timeline only seen in Hollywood movies, just 9 days later, investigators keyed in on this man, a local street criminal who had been plotting the Stradivarius heist for years. They broke him down, cut a deal, and he took them to the goods.
We made it into the house, and we're all like, okay, where's it at? Where's it at? And I remember everybody's looking at him, the subject, and he points up and to the attic. And I remember thinking, oh no.
Dave Bass jumped on the case early. He's a specially trained agent with the FBI's art crime team.
And I'm thinking to myself, surely he didn't leave it up in that attic this whole time. So I had a little bit of a sinking feeling.
As time went by, this was so exciting at the time, that room was filling up with more and more people.
Special Agent Tim Busworm was also there that night. He leads the FBI's Major Crimes Division in Milwaukee.
Everybody needed to see that thing and that object, that precious object that they'd heard so much about.
Huddled inside the house, they'd now have to wait for a search warrant. Although painful, it turned out to be a good thing. It gave the attic time to slowly warm up, which helped the violin, loosely wrapped in a baby blanket, acclimate. When Dave finally unwrapped it and declared it intact, a room full of cops and one robber exhaled.
And it has seen decades come, decades go. And so that gave me some comfort. I knew it was, to some degree that but to be in an attic in Milwaukee, it just defied all logic.
That final piece is what was so exciting, but everyone needed to you had to put your eyes on it and see it to feel good, to finally get that relief that you're like, okay, we're finally there.
That first feel-good phone call was to the Milwaukee police chief.
Its safe return is a result of hard work.
The second to Frank Allman.
So I'm standing in the parking lot of a strip mall in Jupiter, Florida, talking to the chief about 9 days later. And he said, we found the violin. And I said, you're kidding. The fact that it really didn't have any major damage was astonishing.
It's 3 years later in downtown St. Paul, and the dynamic duo is ready to take the stage. But Frank's not slated to play his usual concert series. In fact, the audience tonight doesn't even know Frank is here until he's introduced by his 2 accomplices. For the next 2 hours, the audience is captivated by 3 men telling behind-the-scenes stories of an awkwardly executed violin heist. Its unprecedented recovery, and everything in between. As you'd expect, there are new, undisclosed safety protocols for Frank and the Stradivarius. But after everything it's been through, even Frank will tell you the violin's destiny isn't his to control.
It's 300 years, it's been through a lot and quite resilient. And I mean, I'm sort of going through its life. Right.
So for now, it's a happy ending. Case closed.